Srila Dasi maybe this month will be good because we're going to be very busy.
Okay.
With so many things.
Okay.
And on Sunday we have to start painting the temple.
Yeah.
I have to take Mahaprabhu out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's going to be smelly and, you know.
Yeah.
So Mahaprabhu will go in there again, like last time, 2 years ago we painted the temple and already it's so dirty. You see the wall there?
Yeah.
It's all the gooey.
Yeah.
So that's why when we do the arti, we have to open put the fan on the extractor and take the gilap out because it just makes the walls really greasy and also the cotton.
Okay.
We're online?
Yes.
Okay. Om Jnanatimirandasya Vinanjana Shalakaya Chakshornmitanjena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Vanshakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So today's very, very special day for us. Today is Guru Purnima. It is the appearance day of Srila Vyasadev. It is the disappearance day of Srila Sanatan Goswami, and it is also the start of the chaturmasya period. And so Guru Purnima, the appearance day of Srila Vyasadev, all gurus are seen as the representative of Srila Vyasadev, and so there is some tradition that one's guru will be worshipped on this day. And we saw with Srila Gurudev, in Srila Gurudev's last years, Saraswati Didi knows that he was not attending the temple programs very much. He was showing himself to be in poor health, and only on you could count on the fingers of one hand the festivals in the year that he would attend in the temple. But I saw that this was one of those festivals. When Srila Gurudev, he would hold a grand festival. I was there on maybe 2 occasions in Dum Dum Park when Srila Gurudev, he held a grand festival for this day, and he attended the program in the Nat Mandir with all the devotees. And for Gurudev, it was a day for him to glorify his Guru Maharaj. That's what it was for him. That's what he spoke about. That was the emphasis, the focus. And there would be a Vyasasan for Srila Sridhar Maharaj, and Srila Gurudev would have an arti held, Guru Puja held for that photo. And I will always remember, I will never forget one year when I was there, and Srila Gurudev, this is Guru Purnima, so all the devotees, naturally, they wanted to worship Gurudev, Gurudev is thinking of Guru Maharaj, but all the devotees are thinking of Gurudev, and so Gurudev was wanting to do Guru Puja to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, but all the devotees were wanting to do Guru Puja to Srila Gurudev. And so I saw, maybe in some years, Gurudev allowed that to happen. I think I saw a video of one year when Srila Charja Maharaj led a Guru Puja to Srila Gurudev. But on that occasion, when I was present, I remember the devotees, they approached Gurudev with the paraphernalia, like ready to start, and Gurudev was very angry and like pointed his hand at Srila Sridhar Maharaj's picture, like, no, you do the arti here, like, I'm not accepting anything, very, very strong. That left a very, very big impression on me, something I often remember. This is the true servant, the true Vaishnava. They will not accept anything for themselves. They will not accept one drop, 1 cent of service. Everything they have, they want to offer to their Guru, to the higher Vaishnavas, to the Lord. And Gurudev had that mood. And we're also reminded of the famous story with Srila Sanatan Goswami. Today's Sanatan Goswami's disappearance day, when Srila Rupa Goswami wanted to make some special offering for Sanatan Goswami, who he considered to be his guru. And so some beautiful, mysterious young lady came and supplied some special ingredients, very fine ingredients. And Srila Rupa Goswami, he invited Sanatan Goswami, please come to my house for lunch today. And Srila Rupa Goswami prepared so many wonderful preparations, especially some very fine sweet rice. And then Sanatan Goswami came, and he came to take that prasadam, and he was astonished at the quality of the prasadam, the quality of the ingredients. And so he questioned Rupa Goswami, how did you get all of this? Where did you get such expensive? Normally they're taking buttermilk and some dried roti. And so Srila Sanatan Goswami he was astonished at the quality of this prasad. So he questioned Srila Rupa Goswami, oh, this beautiful young girl, she said she came from the village of Javat. She came and supplied all of these suddenly in the morning. And Sanatan Goswami, he became puzzled about that, and he actually went and inquired in that village. It's actually, I think it was where Srimati Radharani lived with her husband when she was a little older. Varshana was her birthplace and her childhood place, and then Javat, I believe, is where she lived later with her husband. And so Srila Sanatan Goswami actually went and inquired about this mysterious beautiful young lady who had supplied these ingredients, and he couldn't find any existence of that, present existence of that person, of that lady. And Srila Sanatan Goswami, we're also told he was what's the word? He normally, sannyasis or renunciants, Babajis, they're not become, and generally we are advised like that, not to become too involved in family matters and family affairs. And Srila Gurudev, he definitely, gave some correction in that regard to some of our sannyasis, not to become involved in marriage, family matters. But Sanatan Goswami, he was an exception, we can say. He had a very close relationship with all of the Braj Basis, and he would become involved in marriage matters and family quarrels and things like this. It was something unique, an exception. And we hear that when he was closely involved, and I believe they called him Boro Baba, like he was like a fatherly figure for the Braj Basis.
They wanted his counsel.
Yeah, and he would get involved and he would give them advice, in marriage affairs and quarrels and things like that. When normally, renunciants, they're advised not to do that. But this was like something unique. And so he had a very close relationship with the Braj Basis. And we hear that on this day, when he left, all of the men of Vrindavan, they shaved their heads. Normally that would be done when one's father passes away. But all the Braj Basis, they had that type of family feeling for Srila Sanatan Goswami. So the men, they all shaved their heads on this day. So anyhow, Srila Sanatan Goswami, he knew all the Braj Basis, and he also he searched in that place in particular, trying to find out who this this mysterious young lady was, but he could not find her. And he came to the conclusion that it was Srimati Radharani herself who personally came and supplied that, those ingredients. And normally, if one were to receive something from the Lord, from the Vaishnavas, we will think this is a very joyful thing, this is a very wonderful thing, this is something to celebrate, Sridhar Maharaj even mentions the example of Madhavendra Puri, that he personally receives milk from the hands of Gopal, Krishna, and that is considered to be a very wonderful and glorious, worshipable thing. But here, in the case of Sanatan Goswami, we find a higher degree of devotion. We are not qualified to say such things. We're actually just like offensive, but we're repeating what Srila Sridhar Maharaj has said. That this is a higher degree of devotion that Sanatan Goswami, when he discovers that Radharani herself supplied these ingredients, he is enraged, he's very upset, he's very disturbed. And he goes to speak to Rupa Goswami. Our whole life is to render service to her. This is the whole purpose of our existence. If we can do one drop of service for her lotus feet, that is all in all for us. Our whole life is for that. And now she has come to give service to us. This is a horrible thing. This is a terrible thing. This is a catastrophe that she will give service to us. So this, Srila Sanatan Goswami, he has the highest level of devotion in the highest plane of reality. It is a very sobering thought, very purifying to think of these things. Our nature in this world, Srila Sridhar Maharaj calls hridrogam, heart disease. We are always wanting. We want this, we want that, we need this, we need that. This is the intoxicating effect of the spirit of exploitation. That we need this, we want that. We're always needing something. But really, the true nature of the soul, which is exemplified to the highest degree in Vaishnava. In Vaishnavas doesn't sound like enough, but in exalted persons like Srila Sanatan Goswami, the real mood, the real spirit of the pure soul is to give, to serve, to contribute. And in these highest cases, that serving spirit is so strong, it is to the extent that they are horrified at the idea of receiving something back. This is like an insult, like Prahlad Maharaj, when Nrsimhadev wants to give some boon to Prahlad Maharaj as a token of his appreciation for Prahlad's pure devotion. Nrsimhadev tells him, I want to give you something. I want to give you some boon. And generally, this is the idea, right? In the stereotypical, general religious culture, the idea is that I will give to you, my Lord, and you will give something back to me. This is like normal. Like, what's wrong with that? That makes sense. That's logical. But for one who has some appreciation for pure devotion, unconditional devotion, this is a nasty thing. And Prahlad Maharaj, he is horrified by this. He's like insulted by this. Like, what? Like, he says, one who's serving you and expecting something in return, they're not a servant, they're not a devotee, they're a merchant, they're a businessman. And actually, this is the great gift of Srila Vyasadev. This is like the crowning glory of the whole of the Vedic literature. This prospect, this ideal of selfless love, of 100% giving without any expectation of return. It's not about me anymore. Previously everything that Srila Vyasadeva presented in the Vedic literature, there was still some conception of one's own interest. Whether it's in regard to exploitation in this world, having some position in this world, or becoming free from this world, becoming liberated from this world, becoming free from mundane entanglement and mundane desire. It is still a selfish position. The aspiration for liberation, that is actually also a sinful thing. Even more sinful, actually. It is more insidious, it is more dangerous. So everything that was previously presented by Srila Vyasadeva in the Vedic literature, there was still the notion of self, still some consideration of self-interest, some calculation of self-interest. But in the presentation of Bhagavatam, the final conclusion, the final word, as Srila Gurudev said, the last will and testament, all of that is wiped aside. Dharma projita kaita vocha paramo nirmat saranam satam. And who will be able to appreciate this? Those who are nirmatsar, those who are free from envy. It means everything I gave before was for the envious persons, for the persons who still need to. They won't do anything unless there's something in it for themselves, unless there's still some conception of themselves being in the center. If that's not there, they have no interest. What's in it for me, to speak colloquially. So only those who are non-envious, those who are able to put themselves out of the picture, who can appreciate the value of something independent of their own interest, independent of consideration of their own loss or gain, they will be able to appreciate this. Those who are ready to appreciate the real center, the real root of existence, to appreciate that, to celebrate that, to love that, and everyone and everything that is in connection with that, they can appreciate this. They can appreciate this highest, this vastava vastu, this real reality, this truthful truth. They will be able to appreciate this. Their eyes are not tinted by selfish interest. Their eyes are not, their vision is not distorted by the filters of their selfish interest. They can see the real substance of reality, that highest reality. So dharma projita kaita vocha. Everything I gave before, that was cheating religion. That was not real. I was cheating the people, I confess. I was cheating. I was giving cheating religion. Why? Because they want to be cheated. Who wants to be cheated? They will be cheated. So they were not ready to hear the truth, so I had to give some adjusted version of the truth. But now, now for those who are ready to hear that higher truth, I'm presenting this. That was Narad Goswami's chastisement to Srila Vyasadeva, that You know, what you've actually done, in Gurudev's words, you've given khichdi to the people. You've given a big hodgepodge of so many different things. And the problem is, the conditioned souls, they like khichdi. So you've given karma, you've given gyan, you know, you've given yoga, and you've given some bhakti, you've given Brahma conception, you've given Paramatma conception, you've given Bhagavan conception, but it's all in a jumble. There's no clarity here. Actually, Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, mainly the Vedas, they're pointing towards Brahma Gyan, you know, impersonal conception, mainly, you know, mostly going in that direction. So you've given some food, you've given some medicine for the sick people in this world who are still attached to selfish interest. You've given some food for them, some means by which they can gradually become elevated in their spiritual development. But what about the healthy people? What about the persons who are not interested in anything of this world, nor are they interested in just becoming free from this world? What is the value of that, just becoming free from the negative side? There's the negative side, and then there's freedom from the negative side. But what about people who are not interested in either of those things? What about those people who are just interested in a pure, spiritual, and positive, dynamic life? What about those persons? You haven't given any food for them. Now, what about those people? You have to show people the path of their real life and the real positive spiritual, positive and dynamic spiritual plane. You have to give some path, some line of progress for those people, and you have not done that. And so then Srila Vyasadev, he came to present this Krishna conception as the crown jewel, you know, of all of the Vedic literature, the crowning glory. You know, or Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he composed one verse about Bhagavatam. It is I think it's a pranam mantra to Srimad Bhagavatam, saying that, you know, everything that was given before in the Vedic scriptures, it's become meaningful with the culmination of Bhagavatam. Without Bhagavatam, they don't really have any purpose. The real purpose of all of the Vedic literature is to lead one to this conclusion of the Krishna conception, reality, the beautiful. So Bhagavatam makes everything else meaningful. It gives purpose to everything else. And in the third verse of Bhagavatam, Nigama kalpa tudur, Nigama kalpa tudur galitam phalam, Shuka mukha ramita drava samyutam. I can't remember it right now. But there, this all of the Vedic literature, they're compared to a wish-fulfilling tree. No? Wish-fulfilling tree that is supplying persons' desires for dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, for worldly piety, for wealth, for sense pleasure, and for moksha, for liberation. The Vedas, they're supplying these four things. They're like this wish-fulfilling tree. But what is the fruit on this tree? The fruit is Bhagavatam. That is compared to this fruit of Bhagavatam is compared to a very soft and sweet fruit that has no skin and no seed. And so what is if you take a mango tree, then what is the real purpose of a mango tree? The real purpose of a mango tree is to give mangoes, right? We will say a mango tree's life is successful if it can give very nice mangoes. So in the same way, this wish-fulfilling tree of the Vedic literature, it has really fulfilled its real purpose in supplying the fruit of Srimad Bhagavatam. And so, somehow we have been attracted by this ideal of selfless love and service to Sri Krishna, and that was first presented clearly by Srila Vyasadev in Srimad Bhagavatam. Then Mahaprabhu came and lived that and demonstrated that. Nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam vajagadisha kamaye ma janmani janmanishre bhavatad bhaktir haituki tvai. I don't care for any of the offers of this world, whatever can be offered in this world. I have no interest in that. But my only aspiration, mama janmani janmanishre bhavatad bhaktir haituki tvai, is that birth after birth I may have causeless, unmotivated, selfless love, devotion, service to you, my Lord. So this is the call of Bhagavatam, this is the call of Mahaprabhu, this is the call of our whole Guru Varga, Sanatan Goswami, the Rupa Nuga Sampradaya, coming to our Gurudev, to our present Guru Varga. Our Gurudev, we must say something because we're also thinking of him on this day. He came to distribute this high ideal to us, and he himself lived that. He himself demonstrated that, how one can live a life of selfless service and devotion to Sri Guru Purnima, Shri Radha Krishna. And his whole life, from his teenage years, he left all the prospects of this world behind and fully offered himself at the feet of Sri Guru. And maintained, developed his Guru's mission, and then eventually left to spread that all over the world, country to country, tirelessly spreading this message of the Prema Dharma. And so, due to his mercy, his grace, we are here today. I think it's Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, he composed this beautiful verse about Sanatan Goswami. Vairagya yu bhakti rasam prayatner apayan mam anabipsam andam kripam budir paraduka duki sanatanastam prabhum ashrayami. That saying that, and Srila Gurudev, he quoted this verse on the festival held after the disappearance of Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that I was unwilling, I was blind and I was unwilling, but my Gurudev Sanatan Goswami, he caused me, he made me, he forced me to taste the bhakti rasa, the nectar of devotion. He made me take that. I had no desire for it. I was unwilling. I was living in darkness and ignorance, but my Gurudev Sanatan Goswami, he caused me, he made me drink that. Kripambudir. He is an ocean of mercy. Par dukkha dukhi. His only sadness is to see the sadness of others. And so seeing that I was living without this nectar, seeing that I was living without this taste of devotion, he made me drink this, he made me taste this. And so I take shelter of my Lord, Sri Sanatan Goswami. So this verse is very appropriate for today. This is, glorifying Sanatan Goswami, this year's appearance day. It is also, we're also feeling it is perfectly describing the mission of our Gurudev and our relationship with our Gurudev and all of the preceptors of pure devotion. I think I'll stop there, Dean. Yeah. And it's also the first day of chaturmasya. And it is a Vedic practice, And I was listening to one of Gurudev's talks earlier this morning, and he was saying, this is a Vedic practice. Actually, Krishna consciousness is going beyond the Vedas. So, we're not giving so much importance to this day. Sometimes devotees are following. There's some, there's some specific, guidelines, practices, certain foods that won't be eaten. Sometimes devotees are following that, but we're not giving so much importance to that. Mainly we are following the last month of the chaturmasya period, this 4-month period, the month of Kartik, because that is very closely connected with Srimati Radharani. So that month is a very important month for us. We give great importance to that. The other periods of the chaturmasya, we're not giving so much importance to that. Sometimes something, I think Bhakti Lalita, what was it that she said? That I can't remember if it was the first day or something of chaturmasya. Gurudev said at least the first day we will follow. He did some token thing like that,
Follow as in the dietary restriction.
Yes, as I recall. Yes, we can double check, but
leafy greens
as I recall. Maybe you can say
greens,
better than me.
Yogurt, dal.
Yeah, I think meat is also on there.
I'm not surprised.
I think for Kartik. What is it? Spinach, milk, yogurt and urd dal. So for anyone who wants to follow. But yes, that's what I remember Lalita said. At least the first day you can follow that. There is one recording, somebody visiting the Mott, and they asked Sridhar Maharaj, we're in this period of chaturmasya, and we see that the devotees here, they're not following these dietary restrictions very strictly. And Srila Maharaj, he quoted this verse of Prahlad Maharaj, where he says that all of the directions of the Vedas, their real purpose is to lead one to swatmarpanam, self-giving, surrender. And so all of these practices, they're meant to promote that. That is the real purpose, the real conclusion of them. And so therefore, if in one's, present, practice, circumstance does not seem that these will be so necessary, so helpful in that regard, then it is not necessary to give so much attention to them. And we also remember Mahaprabhu during this chaturmasya period. Because normally the sannyasis, they would travel the whole year, but it was the rainy season, this chaturmasya period, so there would be some allowance that the sannyasis could stay in one place during that period. And so in Chaitanya Charitamrita describes how one year Mahaprabhu, he spent 4 months with Venkata Bhatta during that period when he was in South India, and they had so many wonderful discussions. He was a Sri Vaishnav, but by Mahaprabhu's association, he became a Gaudiya Vaishnav, we can say. Mahaprabhu converted him. And Venkata Bhatta, he's also the father of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who became one of the 6 Goswamis. Okay, we'll stop there unless anyone else wants to add something.
Today is also the appearance day of Srila Avadhut.
Yes, today is also the appearance day of Srila Avadhut Maharaj. I forgot.
So
we have to send him. Yes, we have to send him a message, a birthday message. We're all so indebted to Srila Avadhut Maharaj, such a beautiful example. We've been talking about selfless service and devotion. He's a beautiful example of that. And always giving position to others, always taking himself out of the picture, and as much as possible pushing others forward. He really embodies this mood of appreciating the Vaishnavas. If we are trying to avoid enviousness, then we are also trying to cultivate the spirit of appreciation. And Avadhut Maharaj, he's a very beautiful example of that. And because of that selfless mood that he has as just being an instrument of Srila Gurudev's grace, we see what kind of capacity he has and how much he's able to do. I mean, it is something phenomenal. The Russian, Ukrainian, Latvian, what is it called, those countries? There's a name, right? Slavic? Is it no?
No, Slavic is different than that.
Okay. Well, I don't know what the word is, but we can just say the Russian mission, I guess. But it's not just the Russian mission, it's comprising many countries now.
Those smaller countries are the Baltic countries.
Baltic countries,
yeah,
but Russia's
not
count.
really a Baltic country.
Okay.
Neither Ukraine, but Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, they're the Baltic countries.
Okay. Well, anyhow, it has become so grand, and it's always expanding more and more. And it's incredible how Avadhut Maharaj is able to maintain, and keep such a large congregation inspired and engaged in Krishna consciousness. But he has that kind of capacity. And now, of course, the huge Veda Life Festival is going on. Normally, there are about 20,000 people who are attending every year. When I was there in April, they told me that this year Avadhut Maharaj was aiming for 50,000 people. And so they were starting there. This was the end of March when I was there. So they were starting early their promotional campaign. And they said they already had about 1,000 people who had signed up and confirmed they were going to attend. And Avadhut Maharaj, it's just incredible how he's able to engage everyone. And junior devotees, senior devotees, Srila Goswami Maharaj is there, Madhusudan Maharaj, and Bhakti Lalita, and many other sannyasis. He's able to engage so many persons, so many Vaishnavas of all different levels. Devashish Prabhu, Keshavananda Prabhu is there. And now he's also, as Gurudev wanted him to also preach in America, he's also starting some preaching there. I think we can say world takeover is on his agenda. And Krishna Kanta Didi told me that Srila Gurudev told her, he is not within my jurisdiction. He is in the jurisdiction of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Gurudev gave him that name, Avadhut. So, all of Gurudev's name is so perfect. And so we see many things he can do, we cannot do. We don't have the capacity to do. We don't want to imitate him. That was another thing Krishna Kanta said. Gurudev told her, don't imitate the Avadhut. No, we cannot imitate him. He has some very special capacity, and engaging so much technology also. Employing the Brihat Mridanga, the Brihat Mridanga in many different forms, and spreading the message of Mahaprabhu. So we're very happy to remember him. Hope we have him with us for many, many years ahead.
We hope that he visits the West London Mat.
Yes, we hope that Avadhut Maharaj will visit the West London Mat. We're saying publicly. Jai Shri Guru Purnima ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Bimal Avadhut Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Sanatan Goswami ki Jai. Srila Vyasadev ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. All the world devotees ki Jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Prabhu, you sing? Do you need a book? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Hari Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Krishna